Hub Radio Phoenix is an internet-based podcast platform providing numerous special interest programs reaching over 100,000 viewers per week. Hi, I'm Ron Ludders, executive producer of Hub Radio Phoenix. We don't pretend to be journalists, but we're not afraid to say what's on our minds. We thank you for watching, liking, sharing, and subscribing to Hub Radio Phoenix. Stay tuned, stay faithful, as the best is yet to come.
You're watching Backstreet Gossip, news talk, current events, and political commentary with your host, Ron Ludders. Now, let's return to the show.
Well, welcome back,
what a
ladies
great
and gentlemen.
interview.
Isn't that woman is phenomenal.
That was,
it's still breaking news.
oh no,
It's the end of breaking news.
No, it already broke.
It's broke.
So
Broken
yeah,
news.
how interesting.
Oh,
my
she was a
gosh.
phenomenal lady. Gosh, can you imagine going to Australia and being kicked out of the country? Oh my God.
Well, it is kind of a tiny little island,
But yeah, a little bit, yeah. But the funny thing is, she is so pro grassroots American. It's amazing.
And being a Brit.
The thing that she says, we will overcome this because of the grassroots, because of our Constitution, our grassroots dedication, and the simple fact that we have a republic rather than a democracy.
Well, it's amazing because you have to come from a different country to appreciate what we have in our country. And that's why I always encourage everybody, you got to travel around and see what the world is like.
And
we
you
are
will
so
know that
unique.
we are blessed.
Oh my God.
And I tell people,
Beyond
Ray,
imagination.
if you were born in this country, you won the lottery.
You absolutely.
Go ahead, Ray.
No, I was just going to say, and when people say, oh, we've got it so tough here, oh my gosh, I can't believe it, this didn't happen, or my brand new, Corvette, it's not working properly.
And Ray, there's just countless number of people that have been very, very successful, but they've tried the first time and failed. They got up, dusted themselves off, tried again, dusted themselves off.
Perfect example.
And finally made it.
Walt Disney.
Yeah.
Colonel Sanders.
Hub Radio.
Ray Kroc. Ron Ludders.
Right on, brother. At any rate, we do encourage all of you to check our sponsors and please support them because they make this go. What was that? At any rate, doesn't matter what that was. We're still here, and you should be too.
That's right. And you know what? Educate. We encourage you. Educate yourself. Educate your children. Find out about why this country is so amazing.
Ray, on the line we have Mr. Mike Considine from Tucson. Hello, Mike. Welcome to the show.
Gentlemen, thank you for having me.
Great to hear from you, Mike.
Tell us what's going on. There's a lot. Friday's the big day that everybody's looking forward to, Mike, and that's the release of the audit. And you have some things you want to talk about.
Well, just a really quick update on what's going down in Pima County. As we expected, the Tucson City Council and Mayor Regina Romero have unveiled their alignment with the Biden Justice Department. So basically, the governor put out an executive order.
Do we need to evacuate the studio?
I don't know what that was.
Do you hear that, Mike, as well? Do you hear that?
I do. It sounds like it's right there in the studio.
Yeah, well,
we've never heard
lights
it before.
are flashing and smoke's coming in the room, but I don't know. Do we need to do anything?
No, we're dedicated. We're going to report to the very end.
All right, I'll push on through. Regardless, Mayor Romero and the Tucson City Council, in defiance of Governor Ducey's executive order upholding that these mandates are unlawful, and the Attorney General also giving a ruling and also making a threat to the Tucson City Council and Mayor, they have doubled down and they are moving forward with their mandates in conjunction with the Biden Justice Department. And that's what we expected. So that is unfortunate, but we need to move forward. We do have our audit.
Go ahead.
We do have.
We don't know what that is, but
we do have these audits, and frankly, I do a lot more political action work up in Phoenix than I do down here in Pima County where I live, and I'm be working with Arizona Stands Up and helping to sponsor we're going to be doing every weekend we're going to be sponsoring a Revoke the Biden Vote rally, and we are going to be rallying until the state legislature actually goes back into session. And Ron, I don't know if you know this, but in the provision of this last budget, the Arizona state legislature put in a clause that when the audit comes out, they have a window to hold a special session. So in this special session, the Senate and the House can do something called a House Joint Resolution. And in this House Joint Resolution, the Arizona State Legislature can decertify the predicted fraudulent outcome of the 2020 election. So we're gonna put our foot down. We're gonna peacefully protest, and we are going to rally every Saturday and Sunday at the Arizona Capitol until the Arizona State Legislature goes back into special session, which they have provided in the budget. And when they do, we're going to force them to decertify a fraudulent election if indeed the cyber ninjas do show a fraudulent election was verified through the audit. So I know it's a mouthful, but we're going to start these rallies on the Phoenix Capitol grounds coming this Saturday. And I'll eat my hat, and I'm saying it right here on Hub Radio, Ron. If we find out that Joe Biden is president of the United States and the cyber ninjas verified it, I'll eat my hat. But guess what? I don't think that's going to be the case. This Saturday, we're going to hold a rally. We're going to hold these politicians' feet to the fire to go all the way. We're on the 1 yard line. We got to get it into the end zone. The audit is not the end of the story. Our state legislature needs to go back into special session, and then they need to do a House Joint Resolution to decertify any illegality that caused for fraudulent election. We need to go back to the Constitution. We cannot allow Arizona to be hypocritical and let this fraudulent president stay in office with our electoral votes. If Georgia and Pennsylvania and these other states want to keep him in there, that's fine. But we're a constitutional republic. These electoral votes are sacred. And if indeed we find out that they were fraudulently proportioned to Joe Biden, we are going to, at a bare minimum, take him from them. It doesn't mean we're going to give him to Donald Trump. That's a different thing. But at the bare minimum, we're going to say, hey, this president is illegitimate, and Arizona is standing up for the rule of law. We're standing up for the Constitution.
You know, Ron, I really like what Mike is saying because it's not a done deal. And, you know, for full disclosure, we should say that from the beginning, with Eddie Farnsworth and then dealing with Ken Bennett and Senate President Karen Fann.
And all of the
senators.
That are movers and shakers.
This has never been to prove that the election went one way or the other. This was to show that this election was done properly, that it was done correctly, that it was done according to Arizona state law and statutes. And if there were any discrepancies along the way, that an audit would show whether it was done correctly or not done correctly. So I like what you're saying, Mike, in that if this team that has spent thousands of hours, thousands of volunteers, if they come up and they say, you know what, this was done correctly, everything was done as it should have been, then we are willing to accept what we currently have. But if by chance they come out and they say there were too many inconsistencies, too many things that went wrong, too many things that were changed at the last minute, and that there was an issue with this, then yes, it is our obligation as good citizens to make sure that we take away those electoral college votes and that we push for a decertification, just meaning that the electoral college, the amount that is needed to elect a president would be reduced by the amount that we have here in the state of Arizona.
Ray, I couldn't have said it any better myself.
Well, I had it all written down.
No, but Mike, thank you so much for that. What you're saying is that the special session can be called without the governor's approval. Is that what you're saying? He doesn't have to be the prime mover because by law he has to be the prime mover for special sessions.
Or like a 2/3.
Well, that
vote,
is correct.
right?
That is correct. But
Override,
but the Arizona State Legislature, before they adjourned, went into sine die. They put a provision in the budget that upon the results of the audit release, there is a window for a special session. There is a primer that they don't need the governor. They just will automatically go back into special session. And that is a little bit of a mystery. You'll have to ask Karen Fan or
Yeah,
something.
there,
well,
there
the
must
other-
be
the
some
other
sort of
thing,
mechanism.
I believe
right?
other than that, they have to have a 2/3 majority to by
under
law.
normal
unless
normal
this,
circumstances.
Unless this supersedes that, which
It does.
it may very well be challenged by the
Well,
Democrats.
that was smart, and I think we pushed for that too.
Yeah, we
didn't
did.
we? Yeah.
We did here on Hub Radio Phoenix.
We're breaking news all the time.
Yeah, well, we're gonna, Mike. You'll be happy to know we're gonna be down there with our cameras Friday, and we may do a little street talk with Ray Michaels.
You know, Mike, I'm curious because you've been working very, very hard down there, and it seems to me that the city of Tucson elected officials are aligning with a federal agency, the DOJ, and we already know that in Pinal County, I mean, Mark Lamb, we saw him a little bit earlier here on the show, and he said that he's not going to follow that. He's going to follow what the state, and being a sovereign state, how can a city decide that they want to align with the federal government that really has no jurisdiction in the state? How does that work?
Well, you know, the federal government has been doing all kinds of extra jurisdictional stuff like Fast and Furious. They've been doing all kinds of strange stuff in and through Arizona. Tucson is a hub for what comes across that border.
Thank you for the plug, Hub Radio.
Well, you know, it's not supposed to be this way. It's not supposed to be. They have no jurisdiction here in the state.
It is, but they've aligned themselves with the federal government, and the federal government they have so many of these corporations on their side, from Walmart to Target to McDonald's to wherever you go, you've got these mandates in place. And you know, unfortunately, Tucson it's a very rogue Democrat city, and we know this for sure, gentlemen. After we get this audit result, Mark Fincham has been saying on the record that the next step is to bring this audit process down to Pima County. And,
Yes, I believe that the entire state needs to be audited because we might even find that in the process that some of the people that have been elected were not, like Senator Mark Kelly may not have actually won the election.
Yeah. No, it's true. No, I think it should be commonplace. We've been talking about that all the time.
That
Put it into
every
effect.
every election,
Every
have
election.
an audit.
Just make sure, was it done correctly?
And Ray, this great legislature, this great Senate effort led by Senator Fan, they've set the groundwork for the rules for this. And next time it'll be a lot easier to do because the rules will have already been set. The Democrats have complained, well, you're not following the rules. Well, there are no rules. This has never been done before in the history of America.
The first time we went into space, right?
That's
Now
right.
it's just commonplace.
Yeah.
Same thing. Man on the moon.
Yeah. So,
well, gentlemen, I would just ask that everybody that's interested in these rallies that we're going to be doing, just go to revokebidenvote.com. That's revokebidenvote.com. We're going to be having every weekend, might be 4 weekends or 6 weekends, but until this state legislature comes back into special session, we are going to be down at the Capitol, and we are going to be peacefully protesting, putting the pressure on these politicians to do what they said they were going to do, which was address this in a special session, and we'll keep the pressure on.
well, you know, Mike, I told you that one of the things, Ray, I don't know if I mentioned this to you, in 2000, several of us went to the Capitol every weekend about the hanging Chad issue, as you recall.
Right.
and that was an excitement thing. We got some coverage at first, but drag on for probably 6 weeks or 5 weeks, and the
Now,
next
Hanging
thing
Chad, was he a general that called the foreign nation to let them know what's happening?
Today it's Hang Millie instead of Hanging Chad.
Hey, Mike, thanks for coming on. Give us that website one more time.
Revoke is www.revokebidenvote.com.
RevokeBidenVote.com. Fantastic.
Well, Mike, thank you for being on the show tonight. We'll talk soon. Join us Wednesday night. We're going to have a really nice show on fighting back, and we'd like to thank everybody that's been on the show. The Representative Swikert, Hopkins, Sadie Hopkins, Gale, and then Mike, of course, here. And Ray, thank you for being here, Mr.
Thank you, Ron.
Mr.
DeSante.
Mr. Neil DeSante. Nice job. Good work tonight.
And to all of our studio audience.
We
Yes.
appreciate you. This is for our studio audience.
Yay.
Thank you so much. We'll see you Wednesday night. Thanks again for watching.
Can't handle the truth.